Context Digital Sound.
But now, let's introduce to you our guest for this weekend's fedcon16 here in Bonn, Deutschland. Straight out of Andromeda. We're happy to give a nice warm welcome to Miss Laura Bertram! Woo-hoo. Yeah, girl.
I didn't have to say anything. Gute Nacht, Bonn. Thank you for having me, and I'm extremely nervous. I feel like it's a spelling bee right now. I have to say something. Anyways, I'm here for the weekend, and I'm going to have a fabulous time, thanks to all of you. So thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to have a great time. Here we go!
Laura Bertram!
Brent State was the actor who played Rev Bum. He was wonderful, and he was such a trooper, and he never complained. But by the end of the year and a half, as you can well imagine, wearing yak fur, there's a few things that need to be corrected, so it had to change. And unfortunately, it just ended up not working out that he could continue. That being said, he is still one of the best actors, I think, that was ever on the show, and he had a fantastic character, so I give him 2 thumbs up. Yeah, well done. Agreed. He was a great character. But Rev Bum was pretty funny off camera. On camera, he's like this brooding, like, scary guy. Off camera, he was pulling tricks left, right, and center. You would never believe it. Do you guys know those scooters? You put your hand are on the handlebars and you just pedal along on the scooter? Okay, imagine Rev Bum in full costume on a scooter. He loved it, and he would lose a toenail every now and then. You'd find like those big honking toenails on the side of the set, and we had this one guy who was a grip. Basically, he's someone who puts the screens in front of the lights. He started collecting Rev Bum toenails, and he made a necklace. And he used to wear it around set. It was so funny. Anyways, those are just a few of the stories I have to share with you. And this store sold fan paraphernalia. So you would have lunch boxes, you would have t-shirts, you would have posters, playing cards, and life-size cutouts. Guess who was in the shop? Hercules. So Gordon decided to buy the life-size cutout of Kevin Sorbo and take it to work. This isn't even the funny part. He comes up to me at work. He's like, Laura, come here. You'll never guess what I found. And I was like, well, what? What'd you find? He goes, I found a life-size cutout of Kevin Sorbo. I'm like, awesome, that is so funny. He goes, no, that's not funny. What's funny is that he was half price. That's not even the funny part. The funny part was not that he was half price, but that he was half price because his sword is bent. There was a sign hanging around his neck saying, I'm half price because my sword is bent. So Gordon buys not only the life-size cutout of Kevin Sorbo, but the sign that says, I'm half price because my sword is bent. Takes it with him to work. We are rehearsing a scene, and in comes the cardboard cutout with the sign, I am half price because my sword is bent, And Kevin is like, I'm not half price. And God damn it, my sword is not bent. Do any of you know the character Tyr? Yeah? Okay. Well, in season 1 and 2, a lot of the more serious moments that Keith Hamilton Cobb would take would involve him leaning. So he'd do this long lean, and he'd put his hand up or something, because he had these humongous biceps. I mean, you have to flex when you've got those biceps. You have to flex. So he's leaning like this, and it would always be at the crucial time that he was supposed to say a line. He would always be like, it would be something like that. Of course, he does it way better than I do. He got a letter from a group of fans that made a drinking game that involved Tyr. Every time Tyr leans, you take a drink. Do you know that they reported to him that for the entire season 1, they were hammered? At the end of season 1, we kill all of the, well, they're like Wookiee creatures for those of you who don't know the show. They're the yak fur guys, so Rev Bum's friends that aren't really friends because they're bad and they eat people and everything else, actually. They eat everything, including themselves. They eat each other. That's an interesting breed of people. Anyways, so we have this attack, and at the end of season 1, everyone's down and bloody and whatever. For those of you who haven't seen season 2, I apologize. This is a spoiler alert. Put your earmuffs on. Earmuffs. Okay, so season 2, we start out where everyone comes back, and we try to clean up all the corpses of all of the crazy Wookiee creatures, for those of you who don't know. And so because of that, we had all of these dummies that were clothed in the yak fur suits and the faces, and they're piled in a corner, which to normal people seems really weird, like a pile of bodies in the corner, and you're just walking by to go get a drink of coffee, and like, oh, pile of bodies, no problem. You just keep walking, not normal. So Kevin and I are leaving the set, and we are walking by the pile of bodies, and one of them sneezes. I know. So it was a stunt guy that planted himself in the pile of bodies to scare us, and boy, did he ever, because I screamed, and Kevin screamed louder than I did. It was so scary. It was pretty funny, though. We laughed our heads off after that one. Another little moment I will share with you is when we have all of our different kinds of actors on set, and even extras, it's so hot. It's kind of like this. It's so hot in the studio because you can't have air conditioning because the fans will make too much noise for the sound crew to be able to get a good track. So the air conditioning's off, and all of us are sitting outside. Well, I'm purple, but I forget that I'm purple. And that's kind of weird to the average person who doesn't know we're making a film. So the ice cream truck comes to work. And I'm so excited. It's so hot. And I just want a popsicle. So I run up to the truck. Now, just reflect. I'm purple. And I'm running up to an ice cream truck. Do you know that ice cream driver stopped? He was so shocked that this purple individual was running towards him. I want ice cream! I want ice cream! And it took him a few minutes. He actually wouldn't take my money because I think he thought I was going to attack him or something. So, yeah, you see all different things. Another funny thing was that where we were filming, we were right on this thoroughfare. So it'd be like, not really a highway, but a very busy road. And we had all of the Wookiee creatures on set. They would be hanging out on the grass along the highway because it was hot out. and people would drive by, and they would have their full costumes on. Can you imagine what would be going through your mind seeing 40 yak fur-laden scary beasts hanging out sun-tanning on the grass?
Hi.
I just wanted to watch.
This is Laura Bertram. Hello.
Hi.
How are
Do you
you?
mind if I come and hang out with you? I'm
Please
such a
do.
big fan.
Please do. I really like your dress.
Thanks. I really like your shoes.
Thanks. Do you like my new scarf?
I love it. It's
Isn't
so
that
great.
cute?
Where did you get it?
I got this at Selfridges.
Oh, awesome.
Isn't that cute? Anyway.
Excuse me, I have a job to do. Ladies and gentlemen, Laura Bertram!
Laura, I think we just got in trouble.
All of a sudden, I feel like I'm in school and he's the principal and
I
I'm going to
know.
get my ass kicked.
Totally. Every time he comes out in the suit, I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh. Sorry, we kind of broke the rules, but Jewel and I are friends, and we decided we would try and support each other by being up here.
It's more fun. And, well, you know, we're doing a longer Q&A.
Thank you.
Since Mark just came on to introduce Laura, I do have a question for her. At the autograph session, I said to you that I was a big fan of Ready or Not, and I just read in the program that it was your first audition ever. Could you tell us something about that?
Sure. I know that they had reservations about hiring me because I had no experience. So I went and I did the audition. And funny enough, now that I'm talking with my hands, this is one of the things they said don't do. And now I'm doing it. And, 16 years later, here you go. I learned a lot on that show. Basically, the idea was that I was going to do a 30-minute pilot, and the pilot is just the introductory show. In fact, at the time, it wasn't even considered a pilot. It was a half-an-hour short film produced by a woman who was from Columbia University. It was her thesis project. And it was done by a channel called Global in Canada, and they had this program called the New Producer Series. The idea was that they would produce 30-minute shorts, and whichever one was well-received would get optioned into a series. So the 30-minute short film that we did was called 32AA. It's a bra size. And I didn't need a bra. I was 12. But I did it anyway. And it ended up turning into a 5-year series. So I was blessed with very good fortune. And that's how I got the part, and that's how things progressed. And now I'm here in Bonn talking about my tale. Thank you. So, my tale. I think the producers as a collective, except for one, were dissatisfied with the tale because it wasn't doing much. And let's be honest, it didn't really do much, just kind of hung there. I even tripped on it, stepped on it, dropped it in the toilet once, which is kind of gross. It happens, man. Try wearing a tail for a day. Believe me.
I dropped my shindig dress in the toilet, too.
You dropped your dress in the toilet?
Yeah.
That sucks.
The one from Shindig, the ball gown.
See,
I
now
had to hold it up when I was peeing, and I lost some of it.
It happens.
Happens.
So I got it shot off because that's a logical way to get rid of a tail. Just shoot it with a laser. It works. I had to have surgery. I got really drunk, and they performed the surgery, and then I was okay. And the stub fell off about 2 months later. No, they just decided to get rid of it because it wasn't really working, and I think 2 of them got sold on eBay.
Weird.
Do you know the price?
I don't even want to know where they are.
So, were these the tails with the P on them or no P? Because you would think with P it would go for higher.
Isn't it strange to hear yourself with another voice?
Yeah, it is kind of weird. It's always interesting when I hear the performance, I guess, because sometimes I remember hearing something, I can't remember what language it was. It was a show I did called Higher Ground. And for whatever reason, the actress that was dubbing over my voice decided that my voice should be really, really high and talk like this. And I was like, whoa, that sounds really strange.
I was told once by a producer that in each country, if you're fortunate enough to have a few shows on, the same actor will do your voice for all the shows in that country. Well, they do in France, because apparently 2 shows that I've been on have been aired in France. And I agree, it's very funny. And it sounds totally different. Like, I have quite a sing-songy voice, but the woman in France who does my voice sounds like this. Mais oui, mais moi, je ne sais pas. Oh alors, zut.
Are there any questions that either of you were never asked and would like to be asked, and what would be your answer?
I don't know. I don't know about anything specific. I always say the more obscure, the better. Because you usually do get the same 15 to 20 questions that, people in different cities haven't heard the answers to. But I love really bizarre questions.
Jewel,
Yes, Laura?
what flavor is your favorite jelly bean?
Watermelon.
That's an unusual question.
Laura,
Yes, Jewel?
if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
A seahorse.
I loved that.
It's because the boys carry the babies